Good morning. I wanted to talk to you today. It's Michelle Allen, of course, of A Sharp Photo, the one and only plus size certified photographer in the world. And I wanted to talk about using different camera modes. Um, a lot of times, and I've seen memes that make it seem like if you're not shooting in manual mode, you're not a real photographer or you don't know what you're doing. Thing is, Canon, Nikon, Olympus, Sony, whoever made the camera, they put all those modes on the camera for you to use. So, to be honest, you're a professional if you know how to fully use your camera, every feature, every setting, every mode. So, don't ever let anybody make you feel like, if I don't have it on the M, then I'm not doing real work. So, I just want to go over two camera modes um, of these other kind of automatic camera modes that I use um, for different reasons that are appropriate. So, one, so of course, when you set it in manual, you are responsible or you have the ability to um, adjust every setting on the camera. So that's the shutter speed, the ISO, and the aperture, which is really the main things that you got to worry about. So you have to adjust all three of those things to get a proper exposure. Sometimes you're in situations where you're moving quickly, so adjusting everything at once can slow you down, especially if it's a situation where things are adjusting. You don't want to be doing that. So in that case, some of these automatic modes work great. And what happens with two of the ones that I'm going to talk about specifically, the automatic modes are you only adjust one thing and the camera takes care of the rest. And that works really well. So one is AV mode, which is aperture priority. So basically, what you're telling your camera is, hey, I'm going to take care of the aperture. You adjust everything else to make sure that we got a proper exposure. All right. So let's say you want, and what you normally do, the reason why you would use aperture priority is because you want the background to look a certain way and you want to keep it that way constantly regardless of what the other settings are. So I don't use that one quite as much, but I could see it coming into, like, for instance, if you're doing headshots and there's things moving around and you don't want to worry about all of that, or you want the background to stay very blurry, or for that matter, very sharp, you would use aperture priority mode. What I tend to use often, if I ever use an automatic mode, is TV, which is shutter priority mode. So that is when you tell the camera, hey, listen, I'm going to control the shutter speed. You take care of everything else. Now, when I use it most and when I find it most beneficial is if I'm in a situation where the lighting is going to change, but I want to make sure that I have the sharpness or no blur, no blur. So I've shot on days when it's cloudy, right? Not like overcast, but like there's clouds moving through the sky and they keep covering the sun. And what will happen is if you're shooting in my manual mode, you'll shoot and then the cloud will cover the sun and then your light is different. And you're like, ah. But if you're shooting in shutter priority mode, when when the cloud covers the sun, the camera adjusts. So your shutter speed stays the same. So you don't have to worry about that. But then the lighting adjusts without you having to do anything. And that's wonderful. Um, just another throw in when I give someone my camera who does not know how to use a DSLR, I put it in auto. Why would you leave it in manual so that they have to make a decision? I put it in auto and say, yo, here you go. Don't even bother. Just click and everything will be fine. why are you giving other people your camera? It's not like people. It's not like random people. It'll be like my wife or something like that. Because every now and then I do need to be in a photo with my family. So I'll give my wife my camera. I'll put it in auto, and then we're done. And we don't got to like. She doesn't have to think about or worry about anything. But yes, best case scenario, I 9 times out of 10, well, let's say eight. 8 times out of 10, I'm going to be using manual mode because I like to adjust everything myself. And then sometimes I might want to get fancy, and not go for necessarily a proper exposure. I'm trying to create something. But if I'm in a situation where I need to move quickly, weddings are situations where you don't need to be adjusting three different variables at once. If you have only one variable to adjust and you'll still get a proper exposure, that's a win. So weddings are good for that. Or I mean, even if it's family events where things are moving quickly, or like just events where there are people and things are moving quickly, it's smart to just have it where you only have to adjust one thing and then everything else still works. You don't want to miss a moment because you were like, oh, wait, no, no, let me bump the ISO, and let me pull the ISO down, or let me open this up, or let me speed this up. You don't want to miss a moment. You want something simple where you can really kind of move one thing, to get it brighter or get it darker or do whatever it is you need. All right. So that's pretty much it. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like you're not a professional, if you don't have it in manual mode all the time. It's ridiculous. It's your camera. You bought it. You do what you want. One, two, it's your camera. You bought it. Make sure you've read the manual from cover to cover and you know how to use the camera in every way, shape, or form. All right, y'all. Take care. Eyes up. Stay sharp.